Well, good, blessed morning, beautiful, precious ones. I hope and pray all is well. If not, if you don't think all is well, just hold on. It will be. Trouble don't last always. So I haven't been up here since Sunday, which is not very long. And I want to thank all of the new subscribers that I have and be patient. Granny coming back, but back it started this spring and in summer and the fall. I just worked like the ant, trying to heap up some in case, because you never know when a rainy day is coming. The Bible say work while it's still day. So I appreciate my subs, and I do have some notes that I took from the message Sunday, just a few notes of his, but then things came to my mind, and I jotted them down. But I hope to, I see people like pictures of food, and I would like to get monetized. So I'm really thinking about, doing some videos talking about the Lord, yet using food to draw attention, and not just to get monetized, but hopefully someone will get saved, someone get encouraged, someone get delivered. I can pray for someone all the way. We can pray for someone all the way in Europe, all the way across the world. We can pray for people in places that we never even heard of, and they get saved, they get what they need, and we don't need to know. As long as the Lord knows, that's it. See, I'm not trying to get no crown to get to heaven. I just want to get there. I say, Lord, if you just let me, I'll keep those streets of gold clean. I'll keep the mansions clean. Let me be the maid. Just let me make it in. Because y'all, it's wonderful being saved, but it's not always easy. It is not always easy. I have been watching some videos of people doing exercises that I thought I could do. Even when I be sitting here at my desk, I be moving my feet, moving my legs up and down, doing this. And when I, retire at night, but here lately I've been retiring early, and I'm sitting a bit too much, and so I sort of hurt myself because I have something going on in my body from a car accident way back in the 90s, and I can't do what everybody else do. My physicians say just walk. So anyways, pretty much everybody got something going on, and I'm grieving. I don't believe in letting things in. I believe in letting it out, whether I give it to the Lord. But from this Jesus Calling book here today, this is a time of abundance in your life, and I believe that, and I receive it. And on down at the bottom, it talks about when a child of man balks at accepting my gifts. A gift offered to, say, I'll meet you at the register. And I knew what she meant, but I say, nope. When I got there, I paid for my own, and I shouldn't have, because they really could afford it. I should have. I need to learn to be a receiver. I've been a giver all my life, even when I had nothing. Still a giver. I remember when I lived in Florida, and someone that I really cared about, sister husband's father passed. And see, where I'm from, when someone passed, you always bring food. If you don't bring a food, you bring a card, even if you don't have money in it, but you bring something. You don't go empty-handed unless that's the only way you can go, by just showing your support. And I like my soup loose. I don't like a lot of stuff, especially meat. But with theirs, I did. I had a sufficient amount of meat, but I mean, I was just used of a soupy soup, not thick. And she was so unappreciative. Oh, it was so loose. I had to put some rice. I had to put a lot of rice in it. You know, people are just so unappreciative. She didn't even have to say that, you know. Anyways, she's gone on young too, young. I know so many people that their attitude was so rotten that they gone on. But my cousin, I never heard my first cousin say anything negative about nothing or nobody. I remember it's been about 2 months ago now when we spoke, and she came on because she would always reach out to me. Rarely would I reach out to her, you know, except for her birthday. And but on holidays they would always, you know, catch me, you know, because that's what they were used to doing. But see, I was busy. I worked all the time, and she retired and came home and took care of her mother. She wasn't that much older than I. But anyway, she was a precious soul in my book. She was, and yeah, I'm grieving, you know. It's just like when I get upset, I let it out, you know. I do. I let it out. You know, I do. I just don't believe in keeping stuff in. But anyways, I'm showing these collard greens here, which are so delicious. I'm trying to eat them up. So now let me tell you, I broke down and bought some bacon. I hadn't bought any in a while. But I bought some bacon. I have some sausage. I've been had pancakes and syrup, and I have eggs. I have grits. I have oatmeal. You know, I have bread to do toast. I mean, I have cheese. You know, I mean, I have things that I can. I have breakfast food, but my tummy is changing, and I doubt if I buy any more sausage. If I do, it'll be a long time from now, even with the bacon, because, well, this bacon here, it was the thick cut Smithfield, and I haven't had it, you know, just regular bacon strips. I cut it up. I cut 2 pieces up and stir fried it to get a little oil for my greens, because I don't care what anyone say, just plain greens in plain water with salt, and it's just, you know, if I'm gonna keep this weight, if I'm going to stay plump, I'm gonna enjoy it, you know. But I've cut way back, because I used to use fatback, scricoline, ham hock, smoked neck bones. You know, I used to cook. I used to you know, use all that type meat, and now rarely do I do. You know, I think last month I purchased some ham hocks, and I think I put them in those lima beans, or I don't remember now. But I believe in keeping greens and soup, and beans, greens, and soup in my freezer. And I have quite a bit of soup, and it's so delicious. So I've been like the ant, you know, staying busy. And but now it's time to take a little ease, you know. So I'm gonna go back to the gym and just enjoy life, you know, go to church and enjoy life. And so just enjoy life as best you can. You know, let me tell you, there are so many lonely people. They're just lonely and they bored. And I can remember being that, and that is a bad place to be. So, you know, if a few things that I'm believing the Lord for doesn't come to pass, because he knows what's best for our life, then I'm going to be content. Because when I tell you, and I bind this flesh, I don't believe in putting everything on the devil. I bind this flesh in the name of Jesus. Now, I seen the man that I bought these greens from was 74 years old. And he's tall and slim, the complexion that I like, which is dark. And He handsome, pleasant, talking man, dressed, It was on a Sunday. He didn't go. I don't think he went to church. If he did, he came to the flea market to see them collard greens and taters. But my flesh say, ooh, and I'm not bold. I never have been. I would never say, are you married? Because that would make him think I'm interested. Now, there'll be times where I say, I want to get married again. My husband and I was married for almost that. He passed November the 7th. If he had lived to that February, we would have been married for 34 years. And we dated, oh my goodness, some years before that. We shacked up I had to get him straight on that. I said, look here, if I'm good enough for you to shack with, I'm good enough to marry. So we got married. And he always say, I ask him to marry me. I ain't gonna ask you to marry me. You gotta be crazy. So I don't think I want to be married again. I say that, but I love, oh my God, I just love the life that I live. It's just so peaceful. I don't have no problems, I mean, I like peace. I've had so much hell. And he's 73. I'll be 74 years old come March. I've had so much hell. I have so much peace now. And yes, there's some things going on, but I have peace. Do you hear what I say? And I don't want to compromise that. I don't want to mess that up, But I would absolutely, positively love to have a male friend. And if he's married, great. She could be my friend too. They could have children. They could have grandchildren. Maybe one could be my godchild. But I would really love to see a picture of my last great-grandchild. Oh, my God, I would love to see that fella, Lord have mercy, and his sister, because I claim her too, She's not my blood, but I feel like she is, because it don't have to be blood, But that little fella, I tell you, I want to take him shopping. I do. I know I could send, a couple of dollars, but I would like to take him shopping and see him wear what I buy, So anyways, I will meet again if they be there, because I want some more of those collars. I want to get quite a few pounds, and I did not parboil them to put in the freezer. I wasn't parboiling. Well, that's what it was, but I didn't see any bugs. I didn't see any dirt, and I said, well, they had to use some kind of they had to use some kind of chemicals or something. And so I seen on some social media page, because I cooked mustard greens and they was bitter. Mustard greens are not supposed to be bitter, only turnip greens, and I don't like turnip greens. So I seen where you get some boiling hot water and put them in there for just, 5 minutes or so, and take them out. And so that's what I call myself doing. And I don't taste anything in these. They're not bitter. I don't taste anything but flavor. But they are a little bit too well done, because I cook them the normal time that I normally cook. This time of year, once the frost get greens, it doesn't take long to cook. But they are so delicious. But I'm going back to get some. If he told me where he be at on. And then what really struck my curiosity when I don't know, I told him it was something. And I told him, I said, I always put that on my age. I'm 73. And that's when he said, I'm 74. And then he started telling me, well, I don't have a colonoscopy, and I don't have no, I did have a polyp long time ago, but they took it off. And he was telling me his health history and stuff. And I said, now why you telling me all of that, Because I ain't told him none of mine. But anyways, because see, let me tell you, country people are some friendly people. Where I'm from, that little country town, everybody, and there's some poor, pitiful people there, I'm telling you. But they sweet, and they're pretty to be sweet. I don't know how sweet they are. but picking up on their spirit. They oh my God, there's some precious people there. It really, really is. All right, let me get off of here. I'm sure my collards is cold now, and my coffee too, which I'm full. I can't eat that much anymore. When I be taking pictures, with a plate full of food, I can't eat all of that, y'all. I put it in the microwave, or I don't throw it away. If I throw anything away, it's bad. I either put it in the microwave later, or wrap it up, and put it in the fridge, and eat it for breakfast or for whatever. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've seen some hungry days. When Mama Rebecca passed, my God, and I lost my job. Oh my goodness, y'all. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anyone to tell me, I wasn't taught. There are things right now, being 73, that I should know. I don't know. So therefore you can make a lot of mistakes when things you don't know. I mean, I wasn't raised right. I mean, she was 75 when she passed. She did the best she could, being an old woman, and nobody taught her, evidently. Nobody taught her. She didn't know how to raise. So with my kids, I didn't know how, but I knew one thing. I knew how to protect them, because I knew that anybody messed with my girls, I was going to, hey, and see, back during that time, you didn't think about nobody messing with your son. My God, nowadays you got to watch your boys more than your girls. Oh my God, it's horrible, y'all. It's really horrible. And see, some thoughts that I have, some people don't have them. Like one of my best friends, years ago, we went to the first time I went to her home. She had been to my home, and we had been out, and I think, maybe it wasn't the first time, because I've been there a few times. But anyways, we went thrifting, because she's into, she sold her home. But my God, that place was so peaceful, and all that land, and she had barns, and she had them decorated, and all the gorgeous antique stuff. She loved old stuff, but but in a modern, she had old stuff in a modern home. But anyways, we went to the thrift store, went to different thrift stores, and the last one we went to, man, them people that you would have thought I was from Mars, from somewhere, the way they were looking, and see, she couldn't pick up on the thoughts, or didn't see them, because she had never experienced it, But people looking like they were saying, what's she doing with that black woman, And I could feel it. I could feel them darts, sewing. And I'm not one to watch people. Never have been. Never have been. But you just sense stuff. And then when you look and you oh my goodness, let me get off of that. So anyways, the black, the white, the blue, and the green, I thank you for subbing to me. Because you just love people. Just love people, period, All right. Enjoy life. And to those that's going through, just hold on. This too shall pass. Trouble does not last always. And remember, wise men, ladies, boys, and girls, still seek Jesus. I don't know you, but I love you. And so does he. All right. Don't let the devil tell you otherwise.